I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen.
What is that?
It's time.
Oh, it's that time to chase people away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for New Sportz. Written, produced, and directed by none other than the two-headed Vic right there. Victor Allen's New Sportz. Today's Sports brought to you in a Today way. It's the new. And ladies and gentlemen, here's Vic.
I cannot stand that intro. You know what?
Which part, though?
Hey, I can't.
Vic.
Everything has to be like retro. Let me go back. Let me just go back up.
I do the cupping of the ear thing. Here's Victor.
I know. You know, that whole jerk sensation don't work.
Woo.
Hey, if you guys think
depends what application.
Right. See, I knew he was going to go there. I tried to interrupt him.
Still, it's the tried true here.
This is where Danny runs out the room. This is where G&N goes in the other room, get the lap dance on, and PMC is out there standing alone going like, okay, let me just hold fort.
Danny has a strong sports fervor.
You're right.
She does. She just tries to be anti-sports.
No, she's
but
gone.
deep within her, she's
gone.
She's a soccer mom waiting to jump out.
You're right.
She's a soccer.
Okay. Let me go serve that clientele that said, okay, I don't want to hear the bad news. Let me just hear some other news. And you know, New Sports is wrapped up around with sports and sex in its own wrapping. And you have to navigate your way through it and see what it means. But at the end of the day, you know, on a weekend like what we had, it's not always the Emmys, the Oscars, and everything else. It's we call the tweener. We're in the tweener season between basketball, football. Baseball is doing what it do. Okay, I can talk about Boston and the Yankees. They just played a game. I'm not going to get into that. What I want to get into is how much were the people who follow Tiger Woods impacted by his what they would call below average rating of performance. See why? See what happes?
I don't know why.
See what you're doing to me. See, he's playing with his nano.
I had to get ready to give you some of these sound effects.
I don't.
I'm ready now. No.
Can I deliver this?
No.
Already. If this is a video, they're already going like you lost me.
Hey, I messed up those too, so they'll get over it.
All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Bottom line is that there was a competition, and I'm not going to get into who really won. Props to Adam Scott, who won the Bridgestone, and of course with the former caddy of Tiger Woods. So already in his fourth outing of the pairing, they already got a win. Now, they already said that Tiger coming in somewhere around 30-something, I mean, he didn't perform well, but the caddy made more money than Tiger did, earning $53K. Now, got that out of the way, you guys know about this. Now, here's my question. Everybody has a loose term called friendship. And I believe we have working with two divas here, and that's Adam Scott is not the diva. I believe the caddy on the left has a little bit of diva in him too, but I may be wrong. So let me just ask this, Mario. Here's the bottom line. If you have somebody that's been on your hip for 12 or 13 years, and you call him close and good friends, would you call on the phone, tell your close friend, we need a break?
That's because they're not close friends.
So is somebody lying here?
Yeah. They're not close. I mean, or else, no. Hey, that may be as close as Tiger gets, but let's face it, even though I think they're making more of the controversy, you know, because the guy said that was his greatest win. And that they made that into such a controversy because he didn't actually come out and attack Tiger head on, but it's the fact that he could call that his greatest win despite all these other wins.
That's right.
They said, well, that's a slap in the face.
Right.
Of El Tigre.
Right.
And I said, well, maybe he just didn't like Tiger. You know, sometimes you work with assholes and they're the most they're the top producing, but they're assholes.
Right.
So why, and then at the end of all that, why would you change your opinion? Sometimes you can put in years and years of excellent work with assholes.
Right.
At the end of it, you feel like,
right.
I put in years and years of work
with
assholes.
Right.
So, and then they act like they're surprised that people think they're an asshole. I mean, obviously Tiger is an asshole.
Right.
I mean, when you see the rush of people run. Is there a rush of people coming forward?
Right.
To like claim how wonderful he is?
Not at all.
See, what
Not
did I tell you?
Right.
So it goes to show you some people are good at sports and just assholes in other areas. So, you know.
Right.
So for those of you who like to watch them squirm, you can watch him now because he's, like I said, I think he's He's meeting self, and everybody gets older.
That's right.
He's not a factor, and he's becoming a non-factor.
Let me tell you what I see, and I don't know anything. Don't take me and run with it, but you can take me and go with it. I do believe Tiger has an issue with commitment. And when I say commitment, I'm saying this. He has.
Screwing around with the 5,000 women wasn't commitment.
Wait. I'm saying this.
Vic and I, by the way, have always been models of commitment. In fact, you look up committed black men, and they have Vic and I pictures. So all my women, the women they will tell you how committed Mario has been.
Yeah, I have a.
They will tell you there's a rush. Can you hear him rushing? Oh, okay. That's Vic's women rushing,
right,
to say how committed he's been.
Right. I am known for having a
Max committed.
No, Danny, stop talking like that's bad language. I am known for having a commitment to exes. So I'm very good in some part of relationship and communication. See, I'm not worried about him winning all the time. I'm getting on both of them. One, this caddy, Steve Williams, is probably the all-time best. And if you guys don't follow his story, go look at his story. Is there any story about all the former pro golfers he's caddied for before Tiger? None. You don't hear anything about how it was split. So let me say something else. There was I forgot the Players Championship they have where, it's like when he's injured. I forgot which tournament. But while Tiger was injured, Steve even said, can I go caddy for somebody else? Now, if that's your boy and that's your team, and you guys said, is that the way you go and say, well, hey, while you're injured, you can't play. Can I go? This is prior to this Adam Scott thing. I want to go caddy for Adam. No. Is that a good? That's what I'm saying. There's a little diva in his role, too. In other words, he's getting his moment.
But people, he's at the top. Okay. I don't care what you do. If you're the top at digging boogers out your nose, you get the attitude.
What an analogy.
If you're the top of anything, and here's the guy's the top caddy.
Yeah.
So he obviously has, he thinks he has that whole thing about being the best.
Right.
And so none of us like to be dissed or made to feel like we're being taken for granted.
Right.
And again, all you married folks, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about.
Right. Let me say this. It is known that Steve has a strong personality. So I'm not feeling sorry for him because it's a moment where he turns around at the Bridgestone tournament and who he represents, which is Adam, really takes the stage of the win, and it becomes more about him. His greatest moment is him winning, not Adam. So the whole part about this, I'm going, wait a minute, dude, wait a minute. You're going to get into another question I'm going to get here to. Your greatest moment should be that Adam Scott won in maybe a short time that you guys have been together. And that it worked, a formula worked, but it just was him. That's diva all over, man.
Sort of, but here,
diva.
No offense. Everybody's always trying to say what victories are supposed to mean to people, and it just doesn't work. I mean, that goes on to so many sports. Oh, you just won the Super Bowl. You're supposed to be feeling this. Oh, you just won this.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we all like to say, I don't know. I think, what if at that moment, his main emotion was vindication?
Well, it's fine.
It's hard for me to say what you should feel because I don't think you really control feelings.
Right.
Feelings are what they are. Their feelings is what you feel.
Right.
Sometimes you don't want to feel things, but you feel them. Right. So he's obviously, what he's feeling showed.
Right.
Okay?
I agree.
So now, I think Vic, to me, he actually did a pretty good job of holding it in considering what it appears to be the amount of stuff based on what everybody else is saying.
Let me say this. Do we know of any other prior golf pros he actually moved on from? Did you leave or did they fire you? And how come nobody knows about
my
those?
wonderful depth of sports knowledge where I know everything there is about golf.
Let's go. All right, let me do this. I'll do this. There's a rescue mission. I represent both sides. I'm saying both sides here. I'm saying at the moment you turn into this story where Tiger says, hey, it was face to face, and he says, no, it wasn't. I say, okay, forget all that. I don't care how you get fired. I mean, how many of you guys feel good when you get fired one way or the other? You just get fired, so it makes no difference.
I think if you get one of those, see, we're not in that price range, but if you in some jobs when you get fired, you get millions of dollars and some time off.
Right.
So you go, okay, honey, let's go to south of Spain.
Let me say
get
this.
some bruschetta.
If you get fired from who they say arguably could be the number 1, number 2 golfer all time, you're not going to suffer from finding another job. So you work behind Tiger. So this part about, well, he basically just said, hey, we need to take a break. I said, okay, I got you on that. Now here's the problem I got. This reminds me of the Eisner, the Disney thing, back in the day. I forgot his name. Steve, the guy, they didn't work together well. He had a contract together for about a year. Bottom line is when the guy couldn't work it out with Michael Eisner, this is back almost 10 years ago, he basically got a buyout contract. In other words, this is not going to work out. And he was paid to leave, to be fired, to be voted out, $93 million. Now that, you can fire me all the time. Okay, hire me in the
That's what I'm saying.
That's it. So fire me all the time. So all I'm saying is that, to me, if I knew more about how he has moved on from other pro golfers, then I can have a better idea. But this is a capsule in a moment. So it leads me to the next question, though. I don't know anything, the relativity of caddy golf. Some of us are not at that space. Do you know that? So let me just say this.
At first I was a loss, but I realized that they help you to strategize.
I knew you was going to say
I didn't think they just handed you, because at first I was like, well, that's like having sex with someone who hands you the lubricant.
Okay, let me just stop. All right.
I would just say.
All right.
But maybe not.
Well, let me just
But what
say
if they stood behind you after they handed you the lubricant and said, harder, stronger, harder, stronger.
Okay.
Left, right, harder, stronger, harder, stronger.
That only works when I'm not going to go there because I don't want a lot of bad emails. I'm going to leave that alone. Mario had his explosive moment. Let me go and see how well do we think, with limited information, we're not part of the golf world, a caddy's importance to tournament wins. So in the end, you can have the best caddy in the world.
They're vital, Vic.
Oh, wait a minute. They're not vital. Not yet.
Is lubricant vital, Vic?
No. I'm going to keep this on a serious tip because I want to see what your score is going to be. 1 to 10, 10 being best. How important is a caddy's, investment to the golfer's win? 1 to 10, 2, 3, 8, 9. There's both sides of it. What do you think?
8.
Whoa.
You got to have a strong caddy.
I knew it.
It's like using petroleum jelly instead of Astroglide. Basically, there's some burnout, there's some trauma, potential loss of life.
Can I ask you a question?
Vulvar injury.
Have you ever been on a golf course to swing the golf ball, hit the golf ball? Have you worked?
I can't reveal that, Vic.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's a deeply guarded secret, Vic.
So you're giving him an 8.
You asked, Vic.
All right.
And I use the wondrous depth of experience I have with golf.
Okay.
And because I am, a dazzling urbanite.
Yeah.
And that means I may not know golf, but I slept at a Holiday Inn sometime in the last 5 years.
I would say this as far as golf. I'm leaving you alone, brother. I would say if we all had that experience of having a caddy who actually interject what they call some objectivity, wisdom, expertise, it is a value. How much of it is they work as a team. But I would be interested to see if they had a tournament where all the top 10 pro golfers of the world didn't have a caddy. And they just had the guy or whomever that just pulls the equipment. We'll just allow the golfers not to have to move their equipment around. And they just basically couldn't talk to them, couldn't say anything, and they had to golf on their own. How good would they be? So you're saying if it's an 8 for the caddy, most of these pro golfers are going to do poorly. Isn't that what you're saying, Mario?
No, I'm trying to chat, Vic.
Yeah, I knew it. See, I'm going to go on to the next.
See, you got to stand up. Your stuff is more set up. See, I can't do my part. See, when I'm doing my part, he gets to chat. I'm trying to say something. Fingers all hitting mismatch. Typing like some Greek shit.
I know.
Let nobody know what the hell. What's he saying? Google it.
Oh, well, I'll say this. In ending this part. I do believe there's a value in it, but I really would like to see this happen. If they could ever have a tournament where they say you're just not with a caddy. Let's see how well you do.
A non-caddy tournament?
Yes, non-caddy
Pull your
tournament.
own club.
They can pull the clubs. They can't talk to them or give them any insight or meet with them over the...
How about this? Why don't you just have us caddy? That'd be just as good. Get me, Vic, Mac. We'll Caddie.
No.
We won't be any goddamn help.
No.
Daddy, we'll mostly complain about all the walking.
Right. I would, for me,
give us some soft shoes, and we'll volunteer to pack stereo staff.
I think the whole
come
part
out there and Caddie.
I think when they have these pro golfing tournaments where they have the jocks and the athletes and everybody come, the best thing they get out of it is they get the football players, the basketball players, tennis, hockey, wherever. It doesn't matter. And they all get the celebrities, the actors. And far as the role what they play is, their personification. Let me just say this. Let's have what we call the all-out golf tournament, where the people playing can come and bring their boombox. They can play music.
Oh, yeah, we're trying to distract it.
Everything.
How about that?
Everything.
That would be great.
I would love to see how well they play.
How about we just mess them up? We choose the Caddie, and we use, like, really, really beautiful, sexy people dressed inappropriately.
Right.
That's the Caddie for them as a distraction.
Yeah, that's very
I'll
good.
watch that golf show.
You will watch it all day long.
That's what I want.
Well, the limits would be that they have about let's say, 10 to 15 or 20 foot perimeter, so that nobody can step inside that perimeter, but noise and everything can be a part of it. That would, to me, that's entertaining, man. It's not about winning. It's about, let's see how well you perform under different conditions. Make it more entertaining. It's hard.
The audience agrees, Vic.
I figured you would. All right, I'm going to go over to the one I think everybody's waiting for because it's going to be discussed.
They're waiting. We're waiting, Vic.
Yeah, we're going over to the next one. The question is, who is the greatest athlete or greatest athlete of all time?
What was that? Say it again.
Athlete.
It's kind of juicy there.
Yeah, athlete.
The greatest.
I was trying to eat some of my fruit bowl and I got caught in between, man. You got me on that one. But all right, here we go. This is the one I truly believe is we tend to be biased towards players of our recent to current generation. You can't help it because you didn't see other players and you have to use whatever subjectivity you have. So I put a list of players up here. So Mario, we don't qualify or disqualify. We haven't studied over this. We haven't sat down and did our powwow. This is a list that you can add names to if you like, or you can remove. But I put the names down and you tell me, greatest athlete, and usually what the greatest athlete is, they usually measure it based on a multi-sport athlete, usually starting from college to pro, and they overlap each other. So the names I put on there were Michael Jordan, Jim Thorpe, Babe Ruth, Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, I protest, Vic.
Why? I'm leaving somebody else.
Why can't we have them rated by the number of women they boned? Because then you have Will Chamberlain, he said he had 100, and then L.T. Gray had like a whole bunch. That's my idea.
Well,
that's my idea of greatness.
Hey, look, I'm going to say this. I seen when I was going to West L.A. Junior College,
well, it used to be my idea,
would watch
right?
Will Chamberlain play volleyball. He would come up there to play volleyball. Some athletes just don't transfer it over to other sports. And if you're going to use women to measure your accomplishments, then you need to prove it. You can't prove it, we can't measure it.
That's right. We want to prove it.
That's right.
Can I get those videos?
It's not done.
They don't have many. All
right.
All right.
So here we go. We're going to do process elimination. Who do you think? I'm going to tell you the argument that's been going on with the names currently. Now, 10 years ago, it could have been somebody else. The 2 or 3 names that pop up as the greatest athletes have been Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson. And I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that you had Deion, who's been in football, baseball, and track as it relates to college, but he also played baseball and, of course, football, which he is now in the Hall of Fame. Bo Jackson also did the same. He played, he ran track. He would run the sprints in college. He also had the football, but he was very good in baseball. That's the one thing I have to say. He was good there. I've learned history about Jim Thorpe. I mean, I really did. I haven't seen him perform, but he was a multiple track performer.
That's right.
And when I say track, on the field in many different ways, football, baseball, track, and probably some other sports. So here's my thing. You got Jim Brown, you got Muhammad Ali. Maury, if you had to just rank your 2 or 3, who would they be?
Number 1, Jim Thorpe.
Number 1? Uh-oh.
Number 1, Jim Thorpe.
Okay.
Number 2, Bo Jackson.
Wow.
Number 2, Bo Jackson. Number 3, Deion Sanders.
Wow. Okay.
I really consider Michael Jordan a one-sport person. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
After that, it gets a little hazier. I don't know about Jim Brown's earlier career.
He played lacrosse.
I know, which is a difficult sport, but I don't know much to say about that.
Right.
So after that, I got to leave it a mashup. But at least those are my top ones.
Yeah. Right now, there's some arguments that Dave Winfield being a great athlete also. But I have to admit, I'm with you on this one. I'm a little bit different in the order. They got Michael Jordan up there, but the recent arguments have been really Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. I'm leaning towards Bo. Now, I think Deion just changed the game. But to get two what they call good sports, pro athletes in different industries.
Right, that's what I was reading. Who was good in both.
Yeah, for the short amount of time that Bo, he was good in baseball and good in football. Right. You have a shorter, narrow window.
Right.
Michael Jordan attempted
he wasn't good.
He wasn't good at it. Jim Thorpe, I didn't know.
Really that good. He was okay.
He was okay. He was okay, and he was fast. The guy was fast, but Bo was fast too.
Right.
So if I had to lean with a short, narrow window, I would say Bo Jackson, because when he came on the field, first of all, let me just say I'm going to say this for a reason. Mario's going to relate with this because he's a former linebacker. I said when Bo Jackson came in, he says, I play hard, I play fast, I hit people. When he went to baseball, he did the same thing. Deion, I'm not saying that he wasn't tough. He was tough. But Deion wasn't known to say, oh, man, he's the cornerback that's going to hit you.
Right.
He kind of stayed away from his style.
He was mostly but he was such a multi-threat and kickoff return, everything.
Great.
As a receiver, too.
Yes. I give him all the props.
All of that.
Yeah, but Bo, to me, I was going to
I agree.
This man was just...
Yo, Bo.
Bo, hey, the campaign started, Bo knows what, because whatever he put his hands on, and nobody really seen a lot of him as it relates to running. Probably one of the fastest running backs with speed and power all time, and then would just go over there and play. I think it was at Kansas City Royals, and I will watch him. I said, man, this guy is great. What else is he going to do? So right now, Bo's my number one. I'm floating Deion 2, Michael maybe 3, and Babe Ruth, because the legacy is if he plays so well in baseball, he must have been good in other areas. I don't know that.
Put away some.
All right. So we're going to go to my last part. I can't help it. This is called Do You Believe? I want to get out of here because I want to find out, do we really believe, and we already addressed this, that Steve and Tiger were close friends?
No.
Well, I know.
How you justify close? I mean, people call close different. It's like sometimes people you're involved with, even it's that way. With some people you're involved with, you actually are in love with, but you were never friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Friends imply some other kind of sharing of things. Okay?
Right.
And hopefully sometimes the person you get hooked up with is a very close friend, but not necessarily in the same way.
You got it. And I'm part of this, Mario, is that, I said, one, do you believe, and we already led into it, do you believe a close friend would end a 12, 13-year business relationship by phone quoting, we need a break? And I'm not saying I know how people build their friendships. I just think the term is used loosely.
Right. Usually you break it up by saying you need time to find yourself.
That's wrong.
That's what was mine. Right. It's not you.
It's not.
It's not you. It's me.
Right.
It's me. I'm not right.
Right. It's something wrong.
And I got to go get right and so I can be better for you.
And let me tell you something.
What about your bullshit?
Let me tell you, it's two people who I've seen, and no, there's three, who are not really personable as it relates to transferring it over, that personification in the public's eye.
Cheney? Dick Cheney?
No. I'm going to leave that alone. That's for you and Shirley tomorrow, next week. Michael Jordan, he gets a pass because he was the greatest. No, I'm leaving him alone too. Michael Jordan, because he was the greatest and considered the greatest basketball player of all time. Kobe Bryant is doing better because he comes from that same bark of not being as personable, and you've seen elements of his maturity as he's trying to be that rah-rah on the floor, but he hasn't gotten there yet. Tiger Woods, I'm sorry, you guys. You're not going to find this wonderful personality in him. He does not evoke that. That's not his bark.
He's a prick. Come on. They got him out there. Why does anybody want to admit, like, everybody's cool? Some people just are good at golf.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Nothing else.
I'm not hating on him.
He's sorry as shit when it comes down to stuff.
Right. I want to see him win. What I'm saying is what is being... No, I want to see him win. I don't want to see people
I want to
lose.
see him get what he's got coming.
Well,
whatever way it comes.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
Win or lose.
But you was a champion for him for when he said how many
That's the champion area.
Okay.
I didn't say champion cross. All my love is conditional.
All right.
My love is some conditional ass love. Oh, only mom and the cat.
All right, here we
have
go.
Unconditional.
But I'm just saying
Cat's
this.
kind of conditional.
I'm just saying, people can read your language and body. And if you go look at this Tiger Woods history, you'll see there's a history of here where he did not have to communicate as it relates to satisfying the public because he was always on top.
That's right. When you win, you don't have to talk.
Right, you don't have to.
You just go, yeah.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, let me say this. Do we believe Steve Williams is a golfing caddy prima donna? We discussed this at the beginning of the topic. Is he a prima donna?
Oh, all the way. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I thought he did pretty good to handle the way he did. So I don't hold that against him. I think it actually speaks to his credibility. So no.
Okay.
I think he did well. They're having to take it and extrapolate what he could have said and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the real world, people just want to just talk about you. They say, you're a dick.
Right. Yeah, no. Look, I understand. I'm just saying, I think when you're at the top like this, you can't help but to evoke prima donna. And prima donna is not bad, only for those who can't handle prima donnas. So it's not a bad thing, but just accept who you are. It's like talking to some of the women. When I have friends I talk to, I said, you know what? If you embrace your diva, you will be more likable. So here we go. Next one. Now, do we believe Tiger Woods has an issue with commitment and communication? Mario? See,
you know what?
Yeah.
As an aging man,
See, here we go.
I'm kind of sensitive about accusations about
See,
failure to communicate.
I want to see you defend.
In other words, I'm saying, how much communication do we need to do today? What happened to the value of silence? If only more
Here
of
we go.
we can get more of the single ladies out there to embrace the concept of suffering in silence once again.
Right.
Just keep it all to yourself.
This is so...
Just for a change.
You know what? Take a position.
Just for a change.
Take a position, dude. Because I know this is reflecting some of your philosophical
He's an
beliefs.
ass. I already said he's a prick.
No.
What can I say?
No, you can be a prick and still
He doesn't
effective with
communicate.
communication.
Don't communicate.
Oh.
He don't communicate.
Okay, so...
He communicates about golf.
Okay.
I wonder if he talked about anything else.
Hey, look, you know something? Here's the thing about it. If how often do we see Tiger Woods, say, on a talk show being interviewed? How often do we see that? And you know he's got tons of invitations, right?
I don't know. Maybe he can't talk.
All right. It's very personal.
I don't know. I don't really look for him. If they say, we have Tiger tonight, I don't rush to that dive.
No, you don't.
Because I don't really want to see him that bad. I mean, I don't have nothing terrible.
Okay.
I'm just saying I ain't dying to hear what he has to say about things, the world at large.
I like the idea that some people interpreted things, like Charles Barkley, really interpreted that we had a close friendship. And Mario, you and I have gone through this. What do we think? And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying this. When all of a sudden somebody goes, like what happened to Charles Barkley, your friends or whatever, just who you claim as friend, just disappear, stop talking to you. Dude.
They weren't your friends.
See? So I'm just saying. I mean, okay. My whole thing is, if he's that way, we know people who are that way, don't we?
Vic, I'm not going to criticize Cortez. This kid. What's he going to write? You guys talking about me on the show.
I'm talking about, it can be women, relationships.
So, no, all our buddies, we just have some, they just sensitive.
Oh, you know what? I didn't say you guys are sensitive. I just said that
you guys had former collaborators.
No, you guys
they're sensitive.
You had a journey.
They're sensitive.
They had a journey to go somewhere.
Just some sensitive bitches.
You know what? Email him. Let him have it, man. Email him. I'm sorry.
I'm just joking.
Email him.
It's a joke.
All right. We're going to the last one before we get out of here. And stay tuned. We're going to do the hot picks as well. All right. You know, that season's coming up. There's a good chance we may or may not have NBA basketball. But in the meantime, I always say the barbarians in college football are still barbarians. And so the preseason college football rankings, which I think is entertaining at a student level, I still think it's always a bankable investment. And do we believe that preseason college football rankings are heavily biased towards big payday tournament teams? Mario.
Yes. Follow the money. Follow the money.
Okay. So it's obvious.
Follow the money.
It's obvious that if you wait, if all the teams played, say, heads-up game, every team had to cross over an opponent. I think if you put people in the top 25, they got to prove they're in the top 25. That means they got to go play someone competitive amongst themselves.
But the ratings come out before they played anybody.
The whole point is this. Don't give the ratings.
Okay.
No preseason ratings.
All right, well, stop that. You heard Vic, no ratings.
No ratings. Or if
I hear Vegas grinding to a halt.
Wait a minute.
Eek!
But if
the mob is on the way over to take Vic out, huh? They say don't fuck with the rating system. There's money. You're costing people jobs,
Wait a minute. No. There's a B plan.
What's the B plan?
B plan is if you do the ratings, go back to what I'm saying. If you're going to automatically put teams up there, they say, what can you do for me now? Not what did you do for me last year. You do a top 20, then the top 20 has to play their first game amongst each other. They have to serve.
I don't know if that's the wait.
It's not. Top 24, top 24,
I don't know if you can
whatever.
Do that.
No, top 24, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, they can play. They can believe me. They can break it down. So get it to an odd number. My whole point is that when you automatically get a pass over teams who going like, well, I'm 5-0, you're 5-0, but you're in the top 20. So I have to play, even if I don't play the teams that's in the top 20, I will never get to.
It's just like the dating game. It's just being passed over.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like the world. It's so unfair.
It is unfair.
Get over it.
Yeah. So you earn the ranking, the agreement, and all you committee presidents and all that. You put them on the first game. You play one of the top ones. That's the way it goes. All right. I'm done with my new sports because this has been an adventure. I chased Danny out of the room.
You certainly turned me around on that issue. Ladies and gentlemen, written and directed by Victor Allen, that was New Sports, featuring new topics of sports, all kind of sporty shit. Not that you can get anywhere. That's right. Come get it every day on Morning Coffee.
I told you.